Hey you! Here's, briefly, some news. The head of Michigan's health department has been charged with involuntary manslaughter in the Flint water crisis. In response, the citizens of Flint have stated, "Help, we are still so very thirsty and poisoned." Scientists have discovered an extreme treatment for multiple sclerosis that cured 17 out of 24 patients. One died, but, it's first try. The treatment involves extracting bone marrow, killing off immune cells in it, and re-injecting the bone marrow, essentially resetting everything. Then a light will go on, and then a light below it will blink and turn solid, and another one will blink and turn solid, then another, and then you're good to go. Meanwhile, in some very sad news, Adam West has died. Here's some news. Fox News has dropped their slogan, fair and balanced, not for the reason you think, and have changed it to most watched, which isn't true, and most trusted, which is, let's say, subjective. And with fair and balanced no longer in use, it's ours now, baby! Though, to be fair, we'll change it to balanced and fair. And to be balanced, CNN was recently caught staging a scene in which Muslims put flowers down for victims of the recent London attacks. You know, one of the many those. CNN grabbed people from a nearby demonstration to stage the mock demonstration, proving that CNN's not fake, it's just very, very dumb. Speaking of dumb news, a fidget spinner was blamed for a 30-acre brush fire. And to any olds out there, fidget spinners are these! Woo! Anyway, here's the article, and it's a really good one. It's a bit spooky, so tuck the young ones in. I'm just gonna read it verbatim. Let's bring the lights down, please, for the tale of the fidget spinner that was blamed for a 30-acre brush fire.
To those who think the only damage fidget spinners can do is distract a class of middle schoolers, think again.
I'm pretty spooked already, you guys.
On May 26th, the hottest toy of 2017 was involved when two minors accidentally sparked a 30-acre brush fire. Police in Sierra Vista, Arizona say the minors were playing with matches and fidget spinners in a grassy field. What started as a small contained fire.
So they were playing with matches and they had fidget spinners at least near them. The URL remains the same, but the article's headline was eventually changed to read, "Miners spark massive 30-acre brush fire with fidget spinner and a match," which is almost right. No. There you go. At the bottom of the article is a disclaimer that reads, "Correction, this story originally stated that the fidget spinner was the cause of the fire. Police have since clarified that a match was involved." The police statement was that kids were playing with matches and fidget spinners. That's not hard to parse. You wouldn't say a man was shot by another man with a CVS care card in his wallet and bullets from a gun. And if you take out the police clarification, it's just an article about how fidget spinners exist. This is, dare I say, a fake news. And it's not helping people's perception of the media. You gotta get it together, ABC 15 Arizona, affiliate of EW Scripts, owner of Okay. I will gather my things. Can I at least stay till the end of this? Okay, great. Not president stuff. The President of the United States celebrated his 71st birthday on Wednesday, making him the oldest child to ever be president. His big birthday week kicked off with his first full cabinet meeting in which he went around the table to have everyone say something nice about him. Text FAIR to the number below if you think that's extremely silly and also reveals a deep insecurity and emptiness undesirable in a leader, and text BALANCED if you think that's actually awesome and shows how much his underlings respect and cherish his amazing leadership. His leadership which blesses them, for they are blessed to serve.
On behalf of the entire senior staff around you, Mr. President, we thank you for the opportunity and the blessing that you've given us to serve your agenda.
And also with you. The next day of Mr. Big President's big boy birthday week was fun with trucks? Oh, darn it. Mr. Trump did take time to criticize the GOP healthcare bill, describing it as mean, despite having literally celebrated it in a garden of roses mere weeks earlier. Though to be fair, he's right. The bill is mean. And according to the CBO score, would cost tens of millions of people their health care while giving tax cuts to the wealthy. But to be balanced, this guy. He didn't even know what they put in the bill. He's not paying attention. Paul Ryan already said to excuse Trump's behavior, he's new to lawmaking and doesn't know what the he's doing. And maybe the worst part is, he allegedly used to believe in universal health care. He said so on the Howard Stern show, and he wrote it in his book, The America We Deserve. Quote, "We must have universal health care. I'm a conservative on most issues, but a liberal on this one. We should not hear so many stories of families ruined by healthcare expenses." So when he complains that the bill is mean, and maybe we should throw a little more money at it, those are the earnest words of a great big birthday boy. He's like, "Aw, that's mean." Unfortunately, he's also driven by pettiness and ignorance. The GOP made a terrible, cruel bill because they're morally bankrupt ghouls, and instead of fighting to keep people from losing their health care, the Democrats are going to let the GOP fail by winning, so maybe they'll pick up some seats next year, and instead use political points to get the GOP to agree on stricter boogeyman powder. Sorry, I mean Russian sanctions. But then, Trump started to hear stories of people losing their health care on cable news, which is how the president gets his information, and he was like, hey, that's mean. Because as he once wrote, we should not hear so many stories of families ruined by healthcare expenses. And maybe when he hears more of those stories, about 23 million more, he'll remember that he's conservative on most issues, but liberal on this. And he'll just do his best to keep everyone f***ing healthy and alive. And if you do it, I'll salute you, Mr. President. Once. It is, after all, your birthday week. So let's get to the big day, June 14th. What do you get for the man who has everything? Aw, that's mean. What else? That's cool. That's a nice gift from a foreign government to the president, which is against the law under the Constitution's Emoluments Clause. This is a two-part gift, isn't it? Guy can't catch a break. Of course, Guy also can't stop violating the Constitution's Emoluments Clause, so... But there's gotta be something good that happened on his birthday. I'll take it. 14 more billionaires have signed on to the Giving Pledge, which is apparently a thing that exists, created by Bill and Melinda Gates and Warren Buffett in 2010 to help address society's most pressing problems by getting billionaires to pledge the majority of their wealth to philanthropic causes over their lifetime or upon their death. The pledge promises to shift the social norms of philanthropy toward giving more, giving sooner, and giving smarter over their lifetime or upon their death. And I don't want to just sit here and praise billionaires because no one person should have $1 billion. But hey, this is still billions and billions of dollars eventually going towards poverty alleviation, education, healthcare research, climate change, and the environment. And that's still good. So thanks, billionaires. This has been Thanks, Billionaires, over your lifetime or upon your death. Here's some news. During a congressional baseball practice, a maniac shot at 2 Republican congressmen. Both survived, though as of this taping, one remains in critical condition. This is a pretty fucked up thing that happened, and sure, we could cherry pick examples of violent rhetoric from both sides, from people who were probably speaking figuratively and also don't represent either side. And we could condemn people who didn't take the time from their day to condemn this particular act of violence. And we could blame Bernie Sanders' call for peaceful revolution. And we could forget that time our president said he wanted to knock the crap out of a protester. And sure, we could talk about how, to be fair, Sean Hannity says when Democrats continue to dehumanize Republicans, the climate around the country becomes more than toxic. And to be balanced, less than a week earlier, he had it on the president's son to say that Democrats aren't people. And sure, we could talk gun safety and how most of these acts of violence come from people with a history of domestic abuse against women. And we could talk about how this is a mental health issue. And sure, we could talk about how the GOP is literally in the process of dismantling accessible and affordable health care. And I think we just did. Here's some news. Shooting people is bad. And, breaking news, don't shoot people. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the news. If you want to subscribe to our channel, click the big C in the middle. If you want to watch more videos, click one of the 2 boxes on the right and hit that notification bell icon for notifications on... fire.